And simple decisions like whether to wake up, what time to wake up, whether to go to the meeting, what kind of dress to wear, all these kind of big decisions we have to make. But we do make some decisions and satisfy ourselves thinking that this is the best we have done. And if you want to read some books about decision making, it says when you decide, think from the brain, think from the mind, but listen to the heart. It's also confusing, no? Listening to your heart, listening to your brain. That is where, my dear friends, Toastmasters comes in, which is Toastmasters provides a mutually supportive and positive environment for members. Members develop their communication and leadership abilities. In fact, they provide a fantastic opportunity for members to speak and think about a lot of topics, any topic which they like, other than sex, religion, and politics. With a simple introduction, I welcome all of you to this hybrid meeting. A special welcome to people who have logged in, and a very special welcome to people who have walked in. Thank you very much for having come to this meeting. So please put your cell phones in silent mode, and I request people who have logged in to keep your videos on right throughout the meeting, so that we will be happy to see you, all of your faces. And as far as Marathi is concerned, disturbance are welcome, but in the appropriate time. That's what is special about Marathi. So now that the stage is set, it's time to welcome the presiding officer for the day. And he is one person that whenever I think about him, I get inspired. Not necessarily to hear something from him. That's the kind of inspiration he passes on. A mere thought about him, one thing which I not recently, maybe around 6-7 months back, which I put it permanently in my mind is first or second day of the month, I log into the website of Toastmasters and download the magazine. Once we download, definitely we keep reading about it. That is the fantastic habit of our president, Toastmaster Ashok. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the president of Marathi, Toastmaster Ashok Khanna.
First off, thank you so much for walking in so early, because people who have walked in so early would have woken up even earlier, that too on a Saturday morning. Thank you so much. I declare meeting number 135 open. We can do a quick round of intro, and then we can get into the proceedings of the meeting. Probably, no, I think few people are still walking in. Probably we'll give a few more minutes, and then we can do a round of intro. Mutual funds are subject to market risk. Read all scheme related documents carefully. The NAVs of the schemes may go up or down depending upon the factors and forces affecting the security market. The past performance of the mutual fund is not necessarily indicative of the future performance of the schemes. Does it sound any familiar?
Can you repeat?
Mutual funds are subject to market risks. The NAVs of the schemes may go up or down depending on the market conditions. Does it sound any familiar?
Absolutely.
Mutual fund sahi hai.
Absolutely, right? So this is a mutual fund commercial. We often hear that in all radio, television. It sounds very familiar to us, right? Usually mutual fund commercials end with this legal language that must be included, but is said purposefully quickly so that the listener can't fully process the information, and that's the point. Anything said quickly is less likely to be processed or retained. The same is true when you're sharing important information with an audience. The more quickly you speak, the more you diminish the value of the message. Unlike the voice in commercials, public speakers don't typically talk quickly on purpose. Most of the times, they speak fast because they are nervous. They are nervous about speaking and propelled by the internal thought that the sooner I am done, the sooner I can go back and take my seat. Right? I have never met a speaker who was able to speak slowly after being advised to speak slow. That's because it is like telling someone not to sneeze or not to blink or not to scratch an itch. But there are tactics which you can follow to slow down your speech. And there are 6 of them. I'm going to talk about just 3 in the interest of time. Number 1, first tactic to slow down is to raise your volume. Speak loudly. That not only slows down your speech, but it also will project your competence, confidence, and authority on the speaking material. Number 2, embrace pauses. Pause can be speaker's best friend because they give you time to choose the best word and utter it with precision and clarity. Number 3, third technique to slow down, ask questions. Find places in your presentation to pose questions at the audience. They will feel important. Your speech will look awesome, will sound awesome. Didn't I say 6 tactics? We have seen 3. Wondering where the other 3 are. Log into Toastmasters portal. This is an article that I mentioned is from September 2021, Toastmasters magazine article. The article title is How to Quit Talking Quickly. And here is the icing in the cake. Right? When Toastmasters International did a compilation of top 12 articles of 2021, this article is the best article for the month of September 2021. With that food for thought, let's get into the conversation, transactions for today. We have quite a lot of guests in the room. Probably we can, go through them. If you can give a quick intro about yourself and what do you expect from the meeting, that too so early in the morning, it will be of great help. We can quickly go around the room.
Sarvan Ramachandran, and I'm from Coastal Toastmasters Club, and I'm friend of Priya. And I think I heard the right thing first because I used to speak very fast, and I was just alerted when you were speaking about the speeches in the speech. So I think I can learn something from this.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, this is Abdul Hadi from Paper Journey Toastmasters Club. Again, I was asked by our area director, Toastmasters she promised a treat after this lighter note, but I want to attend an in-person meeting. It's been a very long time. I am here and wish to learn a lot of things.
Welcome, Abdul.
Hi all, I'm Toastmaster Ganesh. I'm from Strictly Toastmaster Club. So actually same Priya Ganesh called me. So also I want to experience what first advanced club, how they conduct meeting. And this is my first hybrid meeting. Okay, so what again? Always this club is for example for our always take a lot of inputs from this club. So it's always special. And as always, Priya Ganesh promised me she will provide a breakfast. What we give, so thank you so much.
So hello all, myself Anirudh. I'm from Strictly Toastmasters Club and currently serving as area director. So especially I like Jayan's session. Always I have been watching for past 4 years. So also I wanted to watch how hybrid meeting is being conducted, and it's been a treat to attend the Meraki's meeting. So that's the reason I'm here. And again, it's thank you.
Welcome, Anirudh.
I'm Dinesh Balaji. I'm from Western Toastmasters Club, also the current District 120 Awards Committee Chair. If you're looking for where the guy is, I'm here. I haven't had an opportunity to come into Meraki throughout my entire term. All I have been doing is logging in on this early bird like we do during the area director visits. And I've been always fascinated by Jayan's session. And I want to see how the chaos will be creatively handled today. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Hey everyone,
Thank you, Dinesh.
I'm from Winnipeg Toastmasters Club. The last time I came to Meraki was in March 2020. I think it's 20th or 19th, I'm not sure, but I still have the sheet with me. I just opened my notes and it was lying out there. The reason why I came is, yes, don't want to sound like a broken record. obviously breakfast. And I have attended a lot of Jains and online sessions. I thought it would be a good opportunity to attend in person.
Right.
So thank you so much, sir.
Super.
Thank you. Did I miss anyone in the room?
No.
We are good. Okay, thank you. Online guests, would you like to quickly introduce yourself?
Ashok, Sundarama sir wants to crack something.
Yes, sir.
Can introduce themselves for the benefit of guests.
Sorry, sir, I didn't catch that.
Members can also introduce themselves.
Yeah, correct.
Oh, sure, sir.
Hi friends, I'm Gopinath, currently the Vice President of Meraki. But in Meraki, we have the posts. Job, everybody does all the job. So don't take it that weekly membership means I will be only weekly membership. I'll be talking for everything. Thank you very much. We'll meet again. Yeah.
So very good morning to all. I am the VPPR of Meraki Toastmaster Club. That's it.
And she's the one who was promising breakfast for most of the
Yes.
Hello everyone, I'm PTM Sundarama Chintamani. This is my 14th year, I guess. I'm in the Toastmasters life. I've been a member in multiple clubs, starting with orators of Tech Mahindra, HCL Speech Weavers, then Tamilur to Chennai Toastmaster Club, Medley. So for quite some time, I was part of Medley and Meraki. At one point of time, I was not dual member, triple member at the same time, but it was difficult to manage and finally decided to settle down with Meraki, and I have completed DTM in the traditional part as well as the pathways program. I'm really glad to be here, especially for a physical meeting. So this is the waking up at 7 a.m., waking up at 6 a.m. and then attending a meeting at 7 a.m. is the USP of Meraki. So very, very glad to be here.
Ashok, a few days back, Sundarama sir celebrated his 35th anniversary.
Oh, wow.
So it's a chance I thought I'll share it with everybody.
Today is my official birthday.
Wow!
I forgot to tell my wife this morning.
Wow! Very happy birthday, sir. Ashok, it's birthday for us, sir.
Official birthday.
Now we know who is going to sponsor the breakfast.
And Jay,
Yeah, hi, my name is Jayan. So
We can start with the usual. I'm invisible.
literally. Right, I think we'll move to the online.
Okay, thanks, Jen. So, Bala.
Hi, I am Toastmaster Bala and I'm from DXC Chennai chapter Toastmasters. Actually, Meraki is for advanced Toastmasters and I'm not yet into it, but the poster got me glued, especially the session from Jayan, who is one of the chartered members for my corporate club. So, I'm just looking forward to that session and the early morning. I think that's a really positive thing.
Bala, you're from which club, Bala?
I'm from DXC Chennai chapter Toastmasters.
Is Jen chartered member of that club?
Yes.
Yes.
Aishwarya?
Hi all. So I was a member of Standard Chartered GBS OMR Toastmasters Club, and they actually currently closed down. And I moved to a different company. So I am starting a club in Recode Solutions.
Oh, okay. Great. Nice to know that, Aishwarya. Anyone else online? CK? Okay, maybe CK is on mute. Welcome, Aarti. Thanks for joining. Aarti, you want to introduce yourself quickly?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ashok. Good morning, everyone. This is Aarti Mangam Jayaraj, and I've been with Meraki for the last 3 years or so. Nothing specific I would like to add, but yes, I was planning to skip this meeting today. I joined since I saw Jayan's session being one of the most attractive parts. So I'm here for Jayan today. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Aarti. Thanks for joining in. CK?
Yeah. Hi, all. Good morning. So I am CK, part of Meraki. I recently joined Meraki. Earlier, I was part of Speak to Lead Toastmasters Club. Professionally, I am a software project manager working in a corporate company. So overall, I have been part of Toastmasters for the last 5 years. So every meeting in Meraki really excites me. So thank you. Yeah, we can learn to this further. Thank you.
Thanks, CK. Muki.
Hi, all. Good morning. This is Muki here. I've been part of Meraki for 2 years. Ever since it started, I wanted to come and then revive my reading habit. That's how I joined this club. And I started my Toastmaster journey in 2013 timeframe, 13-14 timeframe, and it was in a corporate club, HCL Expressions, and as the presiding officer of the list told today. I'm one of the speaker who can't stop speaking fast. I wanted to. And also I have a lot of things to share, and I wanted people to listen. So that makes me to apply all those techniques, even though I'm not an avid reader of magazine. Looking forward for a great session. Thank you.
Thanks, Muki. Bala. Bala Murugan, Meraki Bala.
Happy morning, everyone. My name is Bala Murugan. I joined Toastmasters in the year 2017, January. Then I joined with Meraki around 2019. So for the past 2.5 years, 3 years, I'm with Meraki and a lot of learnings in this journey. I'm looking forward for this wonderful session by DTM Jayan today.
Perfect. Thank you, Bala. So without further ado, I don't want to keep people waiting.
Sure, Pooh is not introduced.
Pooh.
Good morning, everyone. This is Gautam here. I joined Toastmaster in 2012, and it's been 3 years since I joined here. I'm the VP, currently the VP. I'm looking forward for today's session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Pooh. So without further ado, we will get into the business for today. So today's meeting is going to be conducted by someone very special, and she's always a great source of inspiration. I don't know where she's drawing energy from. She works in late night, but still she's very prompt in attending the early morning Meraki meeting. And I know because most of us who work, we catch up all the piled up work only on Friday evenings, and Friday becomes a bit late in the day, but still she manages to attend the meeting, early morning meeting on a Saturday. Without further delay, I welcome the Toastmaster for today, Toastmaster Priya, and she has come with a very creative topic, and what better place to have this particular theme than Jayan's office, which is supposed to be the creative zone in the town. So Toastmaster Priya, stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, Ashok. Thank you, Jayan. So very good morning to one and all present over here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is Lauren.
Very good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yes, great. So today we have the theme as a question. Are you creative? Are you creative, Obisa?
Sometimes morning only my brain will work. Afterwards do not.
So you're creative in the morning.
I'm creative, Mama.
Are you creative? Yes, you are creative. What about you, sir? Are you creative?
I don't think I'm creative, but I train people on creativity.
Great. So trying something always new is one such character of a creative person. So this is a question which was there in my mind for the last few weeks, because I'm going to attend a very creative session on this day. So I was thinking whether I'm creative. So let me put this question as the theme. And I was browsing the internet to know how to identify a person who is creative or not. So I got a few pointers. I found it very interesting. So I thought, let me share these pointers with you to tell you that if you belong to any one of this particular points, you are a creative. So the first point I'd like to tell you is that creative people are always playful. I think you heard it right, not playful, playful. So creative people are always playful. You know why? Because they ensure that the child within themselves are always awake. They're very happy doing the things, getting the things done. They always express that happiness in their face. So are you playful? Then you're creative. Second, you're a night owl. You don't sleep so early. You're a night owl because you feel that night is the right time to get the creative ideas. If you're one such person, then you're creative. How many of you are night owl? Great.
Morning bird.
Yeah.
I was also night owl.
Great. Third, you get distracted easily. Are you like that?
Yes.
Yes. I'm a secretary. All are creative. And the next interesting point is that you are good at coming with lies. You're a best storyteller. Then you are the excuse master. I have one friend when I was doing this 12th time. Her name is Meenakshi. And she is the one who comes late to the class every day. She will come at 9:45, 9:30 class starts, and 9:45 she used to be there at the door. There are people who has come at 9:38 and they will be standing, but she will come there and she will, when the teacher approaches her and asks the reason, she will tell something, she will get inside the class. She's an excuse master. She knows how to deliver best stories to get into the class. And also, she's very creative when it comes to presentations, seminars, and stuffs. So I 100% agree with this point that a person who is creative are good at telling lies, excuses, and creating stories.
You mean white lies?
White
Let's be clear.
Yes. Okay. So getting into the flow of the meeting, it's a specialty of Meraki, our Advanced Toastmaster Club, that to have the very important segment at the first, management book review. So to conduct this particular session, before introducing the management book reviewer, we have one other person who is going to introduce a word of the day. He always ensures triple I element is present in his presiding officer address. You know what is it, triple I? Interesting, informative, and inspiring content at the first itself. So let's put our hands together to welcome our grammarian of today's meeting, Toastmaster Ashok.
Thank you, Priya. Today I'll be playing the role of grammarian. I'll be watching the good and not so good usages. The word for today is profound. I came across this word a month back when I was listening to one of the speeches by the Tamil Nadu's finance minister. Like we count the R in the meeting, you can start counting this word and you will find he uses this word at least once every 5 minutes. The word is profound. The beauty of this word is this word could be used either as an adjective or as a noun, and the meanings are a little bit different. The adjective and noun meanings are a little bit different. The word profound means intense. How you could use this word is I announce my promotion with profound joy, or I'm profound happiness. So that is the adjective way of using it. The noun way of using it is profound is deep. It means very deep. It could be like a profound is like the ocean is profound. This means the ocean is so deep that I can see the floor of the ocean, something like that. So I encourage everyone to use the word wherever it's suitable. So profound means intense or insightful. In lot of academic papers and journals as well, I have seen this word being used, but in the context of adjective, not as a noun, but as an adjective. So I encourage everyone to use this word, and happy meeting today. Over to you, Priya.
Thank you so much, Ashok, for introducing the word of the day. Yes, let's get into that important segment. You know why I said it is important? Because reading book itself is tough. Reviewing it in front of an audience, again, it's a very big hectic task, I would say. And in Malayalam, in our mother tongue, in my mother tongue, we call this people who wear specs as Buddhi. You know what? What is the meaning of it? Buddhijeevi. That means intellectual species. Okay. So mostly these people, mostly the people who wear specs are considered to be very intellectual, and the person who is going to review the book is also wearing the specs. He's a technocrat with 1.5 decade experience in embedded software products, product development for broadcasting and networking domain. Let's put our hands together to welcome our book reviewer of today's meeting, Toastmaster Muki. Over to you.
Thank you. How many of you are passionate about your work? Raise your hands if you are. How many of you have ever felt this passionate about doing your work?
Well, passionate, yes, many times.
Okay, so this book is okay. There are a lot of ways we can introduce a book, right? And a lot of ways where we can start reading a book. And I was little reluctant, not being clear of the way how the work's been assigned at my job, and I was about to look for alternate opportunity, and that's the time when I picked this book. That I say that the pre condition of taking a book is because the title and then how you see it and how other author is presenting the view, the perspective of how you listen to will change when you have your preconceived notion. And that preconceived notion which I had when I picked this book is that I'm not happy about doing my work, and I wanted to see actually why I have to actually find a purpose in what I am doing. And I'm the book which I have took is more of a collection of magazine articles which has been present. And as you know, like Harvard Business Review, like they have the articles, and this book is a curated edition of emotional intelligence. We're finding human at work, and that's the genre of the content, and especially about talks about purpose, meaning plus passion. And these are jargon words, and then how well it's more of abstract topic and how it connects, right? That was the notion which I had when I picked this book. When I entered into it and when I started reading, I was actually reading the way how I presented myself to the work. I was not having the service mindset to look at the work in hand. And this thought process is more from a perspective where the inner thought what I had is in my work is that I reached to a state where I don't like the work which I do. So I'm a programmer. I program embedded softwares, and we make products. I worked in broadcasting and networking domain, and especially we integrate the chipset vendors code and then we deliver to the customer. So at one point of time, I felt that I'm a person who's like a broker who's connecting from one A to the B and then giving this data which has already been present to another person. And I didn't find a meaning out of doing that. And that was the context of I started disliking it, and I started dispassionate about the work which I did. And I that made me also to look into arenas where other aspects to improve the management skills. And then I felt there was a huge river to cross from a technology person to a management person, where the aspects of improving your skills in making people do things. At the same time, you have to present yourself more organized in all the situations which you deal with. And it was too overwhelming, and then made me to jump into this book. And the very first subsection of this book, finding meaning at work, and the purpose, self-realization, prestige. These words we have often heard, and the definition for these words also we have our own. Like, what is that purpose? Is you define a meaning to what we do, and then meaning, how we derive meaning out of whatever we do, and then passionate about, as you all said, that like all of us have been passionate about doing something and dispassionate about doing something as well, right? This book have a sequence of chapters which is made me to connect. The very first thing is the structure of, if you are reading multiple magazines, and then you wanted to collect and then create a book and then give it, then there will be a lot of disconnects, right? It is not a book which starts with the story and then it comes with an end. Here the person who have curated it, it made it such a way that to start with misconception of purpose. So all of us, we believe that the purpose is something which is there, it has to be there within us, but the major misconception is it's built over the period of time. And purpose is only a thing you find, it's a single thing and stable over time, but it need not be stable over time as well. It can change from every the purpose is to work as a software engineer was my thought process when I was in my college days, where and the purpose keep on changing from situation to situation. And there are aspects where when we look into a book, we look for something which we derive out of, right? I derived out of the minute aspects which I missed. One is that in my team, I've been there for as an integrator and then taking care of the software delivery lead. There are people who have joined afresh, and then for the work which we do, if I am not passionate about, how I'm going to bring in that passion and purpose in people around me, right? So that's when I started looking at the purview of how you see it. The learning is something which I like, and then I started seeing the learn aspect to be connected to the job. So when you are dispassionate about doing something in your organization and you are the person who's authorized to do it, then are you going to advocate and then play as an advocacy, or are you going to play as a person to put your shoes to the people whom you're going to present to, and then change the way how you see and then present it best. So this I felt that I changed the way how I look. I started looking for the passionate things which is happening around me, even the minute aspect of unblocking a fresher who joined and then not clear doing a work, and then to sit along and then to come up with a big approach that we don't know the solution, but just come up with this. Okay, so I'm talking about actually this purpose, meaning, and passion, right? So this book had made me to actually delve into what all things which I was doing and which I was not doing in my work, and made me focus. And it also gave me the way how you can make people more passionate about doing, and then by having a meaningful interaction, by asking few questions, like if you find a person who's not passionate about doing things, just have a conversation around what makes them feel good, and then what they enjoy, and then the most useful, and what is that how they relate to the situations which they deal in their work or in any place. Surprisingly, when I did this to myself, I found that lot of places where there was a disconnect in what I wanted to do and what I was doing, and that disconnect had made me to feel the way how I felt. Sometimes, self introspection is something the best way to move forward, and beyond a point, you will not have people to guide you to go to the next phase. And I felt these articles would give us the a way forward and it all depends on the way how we pick this. That's my take. And if you are okay, why, if at all, what one thing why I wanted you to have endured this book is that to actually look for purpose in the way what we do, and there are a lot of misconception and these words, purpose, passion, and then meaning. It's not something which is far off from, and even the word creative, it's not far off from what we do daily. It's just that the words which is around how we can relate to and how we see. When we see things around us as in the daily life without these words and jargons, I think we can get that profound meaning of life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nikki, for reviewing the book Purpose, Meaning, and Passion. So having said that, let's get into the most or much awaited session of today's meeting. So for conducting this session, we have a special person. This person doesn't need introduction, but as the Toastmaster, it's my responsibility to set the stage for the speaker. So let me carry forward with that introduction. He is the founder and managing partner of Toss the Coin, the coolest marketing company based in Chennai, where we are right now. He joined the Toastmaster Club in 2006 to overcome the fear of public speaking. Today, as a distinguished Toastmaster, he is a motivational speaker, executive coach, and a corporate trainer too. He has delivered over 1,100 plus speeches, keynotes, lectures, and workshops around design thinking, sales, branding, digital marketing, and communication. The list goes on. The allotted time for him is 30 to 40 minutes, but this list will go beyond that. So let me stop this introduction by adding 2 more lines to it. He is also the CMO of Micrographio. He is very bold, confident, funny, and honest marketing enthusiast. He is also very creative too. Let's put our hands together to welcome distinguished Toastmaster.
Great. Okay, so I hope I am visible there. Right. Okay. So I'll be using the board. We'll quickly get on to today's session. So initially I thought I will ask you how many of you think you're creative. She stole my part. In a way, thank you because you saved my time as well. So most of us have this confusion as to whether I'm creative or not. The immediate question that comes to our mind is, can I draw? Or if I can't draw, then I'm not creative. Creativity has nothing to do with art. It has to do with the way you think. And we all that way are amazing creative people. It has to be, I think, fixed. Yeah, rotate. Maybe rotate the stand probably. So I'll continue to talk because I'm scared of losing time. So all of you who are online, if you can grab an A4 size sheet paper, it'll be great. I'll give you 30 seconds, look around. If you can just take, Mukhi, you can pull it out of that shelf behind you. Right, A4 size paper, preferably A4 size paper. For the team here, we have got it handy. We have got it. Thanks, Priya, for bringing that. But those of you who are online, if you can just take a notebook, A4 size sheet, ideally a loose A4 size, because there's one exercise where we need the A4 size paper. Yeah, here the camera. Camera is little bit down. Yeah, can you put the grid view? Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Okay, so I'm assuming people online have a notebook or a paper with you, and preferably a pencil, not a pen. But again, if there is a pen, it's great. So here everybody has a paper. Yeah, everybody has a pen and a paper. Pen and paper. All right. So we all struggle with writing scripts, right? And we take a piece of paper and wonder, what do I write? And there is a rule in Toastmasters that it should have a story, it should have a proper flow, then it should have a message.
It should have some emotion, and that is why we are all struggling, because we don't know what we want to be writing. And the second thing that comes to our mind is, I need to write something different. The moment I think of a message, oh my God, this speech, that person in that conference has already spoken. So we are struggling to find something new. And that is the biggest issue everybody in this world is facing, because if you want to have a startup, the moment you think of an idea, 10 other people have already started on that idea. And it has happened to me many times. And do you know how you find out? Go and try to look for a domain name on that idea. You will never find it, because already somebody has thought of that domain. They've already registered that domain. For me, that is a validation. So the competition is very stiff. So to find something unique is a very difficult task. And how do we do that? So we need to first question the status quo, think beyond the ordinary. And how do we do that? So that is what I'm going to attempt today. I don't know whether I'll succeed, but let us go ahead and start. So I'm going to give you a topic. It's a written table topics. I want all of you to write 2 lines. So I hope I'm audible to the people online. So I hope you will be the person who will check that for me. Right. Last week, I loved eating dash because. Last week, I loved eating dash, meaning you fill up the dash, okay? Don't write I love eating dash because. Just 2 lines, right? And I want you all to write, because the muscle memory can do wonders when it comes to creativity. You want a pad or something? No, sorry, the place is not. That's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Or you just take these notebooks. Last week, I loved eating dash because. It can just be another 1 line to that. Okay. I want you, all of you who are online, I want you to write. And everything is timed. And this, I'm just going to give you 40 seconds. And I have a timing device with me. Right? There's a manual device. I don't believe in electronic stuff. So again, it's too early for me to time it. All right. Okay. So I'm going to randomly pick names and you'll have to tell me what you wrote. Guest Bala of DXC. I have a soft corner from people from DXC because that's my chartered law. So Bala, you ran away? Yeah, you're there. Okay. So Bala, what did you write?
I wrote last week I loved eating somebody's brains because that was an opportunity for me to increase my creative space and learn something new.
Super. I really love that. I hope you all are not suspecting that I planted him there, but I'm glad I asked you this. Okay, over to you.
Yeah. Last week I loved eating my son's Pringles because it was costly compared to other same products of the same range. I have to love it at any cost.
Absolutely. Fantastic. How about you, Anirudh?
Last week I made a aloo matar because I attempted for the first time to prepare myself how the dish came.
So you better love having it. Nobody else. Okay, sir, you.
Last week I loved eating a donut because it was after a long time I had the chance of eating a donut.
Okay, great, sir.
Last week I loved eating the soup prepared by me, drumstick leaf soup. Normally soups are prepared with drumstick vegetable, but I prepared a soup with the drumstick leaves. And it was so refreshing, and entire family loved it. And because of that, I also loved it.
Oh, absolutely fantastic. Anybody else online? Vidya, were you there when we started? Great. So Vidya is not there. Anybody online wants to say what they've written? Aishwarya,
I would like to say, yeah.
Aishwarya.
Last week, I loved having cake because I had it after a very long meet and arrangements.
Okay. Eat what? Cake. Okay. Okay. Fine. Done. So when I ate this topic last week, I ate dash. I love eating dash because The keyword was 8, right? And what came to your mind? Food. Why?
Food is what we eat. So that's our country.
Now that is where the problem starts. That's where the problem starts, because our mind, our brain has a template, right? The moment it hears a keyword, it doesn't think, it throws that template. Hey, I heard this. That is what today we call it the typo check on our thing, because it is predicting. So the mind is already predicting. It's saying, hey, why do you think so much? Yeah, just 8 idli, dosa, cake, just throw it out. Mind's immediate reaction is to throw something from the template. Now, what we need to do, if we want to really be creative, is to stop that template. But I'm glad that I asked Bala. It was shocking for me when I heard that, right? Was he right or wrong? Absolutely right. So the first step to think creative is to move away from the ordinary. So the moment you heard 8, where all can I use 8 other than food? Right? Now I'm going to give you throw another challenge. Yeah.
Why can't I be creative in the template itself?
Absolutely. Fantastic. I really love that. I'm glad that you asked. So there is no right or wrong. I'm not saying, hey, don't think of anything else. Now you've thought about the ordinary. The brain has pushed the template. Now why can't I be creative with that template? Right? So just give me a random word. Random word. Drink. Drink. No, nothing related to food.
Flabbergasted.
Flabbergasted. That's a little complex.
Drive, yes.
Drive?
Yeah.
Oh. Sorry, what is that?
Distribution.
Distribution. Okay. Oh, that's also too long. Okay. No, because I'm lazy. So fine. Okay. Now you're going to answer the same question, right? With the same answer. But you need to tweak your answer with the word drive in it. Go ahead. What have you written? Don't change what you've written, including our DXC Bala. Don't change what you've written, the central theme. But now you need to tweak it in such a way that it has the word drive. All forms of drive. 40 seconds.
Jen, the same sentence need to be rephrased using the word drive. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'm not going to say the same sentence, the same answer.
Answer. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you can tweak the whole line, but don't move away from the cake and soup and all that, right? Yeah, so don't move away from that. But just try and tweak it with the word drive. Sir, okay.
Last week I loved eating drumstick soup that dried the much needed energy for me.
That dried, is it dried or drove?
That drove.
Drove.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Fine. Yeah. Okay. The drove the much needed energy. Okay, fantastic. Anybody else?
Last week I loved eating upma. I don't think anyone would love that.
Okay.
Because I'm on a paleo diet, my body and mind drove me to have some carbs.
Drove you to have some carbs. Okay. Utatan, I'm making sure everybody participates. That's why I'm calling names.
Last week I loved eating pongal because it drove me crazy.
Okay, fine. What was your first answer?
I loved eating pongal because it is the fastest food I can get.
Fastest food you can get. Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I drove away the habit of eating. I drove away the idea of eating a donut because I realized eating it regularly is not good for health.
Eating it regularly is not good for health. So you use the word drove much earlier, much later. Okay, great, fantastic. Now tell me an emotion. Emotion. You're like flabbergasted is an emotion, but it's too complex an emotion.
Angry.
Angry. Okay.
Angry nowadays.
Angry.
Angry nowadays, people say angry with the hunger.
Hunger. Right. Angry. Okay. Angry. Any other? Sorry.
Frustrated.
Frustrated. Okay, frustrated. So I don't have the patience to write the whole word. This is frustrated. Okay. So frustrated. Any other emotion?
Frustrated and writing long words.
Sorry?
You are frustrated in writing long words.
Frustrated with writing long words. Correct. Any other emotion?
Already love is there already in the sentence. Love is an emotion. Love.
Love.
Already there in the sentence.
Oh, okay. Yes, love. And what did you say? You said something, no? Oh,
I said something elated.
Elated. Humor, funny. Is humor an emotion? Funny could be an emotion. Funny could be an emotion. Okay. Sorry?
Regret.
Regret. Regret. Right? Correct spelling.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Fine. So Priya, can you choose one of these words? Emotions. Other than love.
Elated.
Elated. So can you tweak your answer using elated in the second answer? So you've already used drive. Now you're supposed to use elated in the whole answer. Great. Okay, so I'm going to ask DXC Bala. So how did you tweak your answer with drive and elated?
So, Jayan, one question. Do I need to include both drive elated in a single sentence or two separate I can do that?
Yeah, ideally single sentence, but it's
Okay, I did that. I just want to attempt it. Last week I loved driving somebody crazy because that was my chance to expand my creative space and that left me elated.
Okay. No, your first answer, what was that?
My first answer was last week I loved eating someone's brains because that was my way of extending my creative space. The first time.
Okay, second time, how did you use drive in that?
Yeah, so last week I loved driving someone brain crazy because that was my chance to expand my creative space.
Okay, and then now repeat the third one.
The third one is last week I loved driving someone brains crazy because that was my chance to expand my creative space and I was elated.
Oh, you were elated. Okay, great, fine. So anybody else with elated?
Last week I loved eating drumsticks too, and that drove energy, and my entire family got elated on
Drove my energy and my entire family got elated. Okay.
Yeah, I can give a shot. Last week I enjoyed eating chola bhatura with my friends because it was a 20-minute drive and a 40-minute wait that related all the memories we shared together.
Super. Okay. So your first answer was chola bhatura.
Yeah, I enjoyed chola bhatura.
Oh, okay, then I didn't ask you, right? Yeah. Okay. So great. Fine. Now we will have the last twist to the whole thing. Can you just give me an object?
Timer.
Timer. Okay. I'm not going to write. Timer. Okay.
Timer device.
Timer device. Okay.
Mobile phone.
Mobile phone.
A trash can.
Trash can.
Specs.
Specs. Okay, great. I love the word specs. The Kannadi. Specs. Can you tweak for one final time, adding specs to the whole thing? But here's the challenge. It just has to be one line. One line. So it has to have drive, elated, specs.
So last week I loved eating drumsticks food that drove energy and my entire family members got elated, but people were finding it difficult to identify the contents without specs.
One line, come on, what did you get? Fantastic. I really like that. Okay. Yeah. All right, so who wants to just read out what they've written? Somebody seeking?
So I'll go this time.
Yeah.
So single sentence. Last week I got elated eating sambar idli while driving. I loved that.
Oh my God. Okay, fine. Specs, where is specs?
I dropped the specs, sorry.
All right. Seeking?
Last week, I was reading a book titled Humankind that drove me to think and elate how good humankind is.
Specs?
That's it.
He's writing it.
Yeah. So,
yeah, I just read one.
Okay.
When I wore my specs for eating the donut, the energy in me was so elated and it drove me crazy.
Okay, great. Okay, we are not getting into grammar, vocabulary and all that. I don't know whether energy can get elated. So, but yeah, so this is the challenge. So you need to force fit things and you're not looking at whether it is grammatically right, whether it makes sense, whether things like this will happen. That is another problem that we all have. We always validate our idea even before we implement it. Never ever validate an idea. Just what? Okay, your thoughts. We will look into all these frills later, but the thought should be poured onto the paper. As is. Now you are not validating, does it make sense? Should I use drive here? Should I use drove there? Elated, all these confusions are restricting the brain from thinking creatively. So the first thing that you need to do is whatever comes to your mind, just put it on paper. Just like. And then we have so many methods to try and fine tune this together. Now here is where you stand out, right? Because everybody thinks of food, and then if you can think of something else related to that keyword is the first step, and your mind can go completely crazy. So that is the last exercise in this particular part that we are doing because Bala had attempted. So I'm going to ask Bala to use specifically food. Guest Bala, you should use only food. Don't drive anybody else crazy, right? The rest of you need to use something other than food. Just see how you can do that. Now, how can you relate that keyword A to something else and yet it makes sense?
So Jen, still to use all the keywords like you have mentioned?
Yeah, the choice is yours. You want to use it further, expand your thinking, you can use, otherwise plain vanilla, other than food, can you think of something else? And yet it has to make sense. All right, so I'm going to this time ask Emmanuel. Emmanuel, what did you write?
Yeah. My last week vacation ate my wallet that drove us to a elated location in Himalaya.
I ate my what?
My last week vacation ate my wallet
All right.
that drove us to a elated location in Himalaya.
Yeah, great. Okay. So ate away my wallet. Yeah, that's a nice usage. Yeah, anybody else?
I ate away the complete resource left by my father, and so I had to start on my own.
Okay.
Yeah, give it a try.
Last week I enjoyed eating a presenter's time by asking him about his specs, and he got elated to share about the specs of his specs.
Wow. Wow. All right, okay.
Last week I shouted at my family members for misplacing my specs, but finally I loved eating my words.
Oh, eating my words, amazing. That's a great usage. Fantastic. Like,
Last week I loved eating Rajasa's music.
Rajasa's music for dinner. Yeah, great. Okay. Priya?
Last week, I ate few words during my evaluation because I feel that might drive speaker crazy.
That might drive speaker crazy. Okay, so only specs is missing. Yeah, okay, fine. Anybody else from the online? Yeah, I need to ask DXC Bala this time. Was there food in your thing?
So this is what I attempted, Jay. Last week I was elated eating multi-cuisine as that drove me to food for multiple thoughts and I was elated.
Super. Okay, so only specs is missing there.
Yeah, specs is missing.
Okay, fine. No issues. Now the question is, why did you think the first time like this? And that is what we should train our brain to do now. So every time you sit down to write a script or you're being given a topic, just tell, I'm going to think away from the ordinary and pick a keyword from that topic. And every table topics will have a keyword. I'm just starting with the table topics, but it's relevant for the rest of the speeches that we write. Pick a keyword, figure out what all can I write around that keyword. Now, it's a challenge because when I said don't use food, we are struggling to relate something sensible around the word eat. And eating my words is a great example, but not necessarily that for every other keyword like this, you will get something beyond the ordinary. And that is where reasoning helps. Reasoning helps. I'll give you an example. So probably I can say, last week I had nuts and bolts for dinner. And then everybody's wondering, nuts and bolts? I was just kidding. That's reasoning. Okay. Very simple. Everybody's wondering, oh, that can't be true. I was just kidding. Oh, yeah. Mohammed Khatami, he said, I made it up. Have you heard that?
Yes.
It tells a story and then I made it up. Everybody laughed and also let it just go away, meaning the doubt that I have, right? So you can actually cook anything that you want and give a slight reasoning at the end. It either converts into humor or it converts into something funny and then people will leave away the fact part of it. Now you can think really wide, right? Last week, I loved eating a bulldozer. Everybody said, bulldozer? Then you can think, how do I reason that? I mean the bulldozer cake that my 2-year-old son liked. Or I was dreaming. The best reasoning that anybody can give. You can cook anything on planet Earth. I was with Elon Musk in a SpaceX going to Mars. And I woke up from my dream. Everybody uses this, right? So when you can club reasoning, you can be anywhere in your thinking. So I always have this reasoning with you, and it really helps when you're writing a script. But that reasoning will also have to be making sense. You can't go ahead and say, last week I ate a bulldozer. I'm serious. I ate a bulldozer. You know the bulldozer, you go on cooking and people are going to get restless. And the track will be lost. Daunted. Yeah, only in daunted you can use that very clearly. So the reasoning really helps. That's when she said, anybody is creative, they can have excuses. It's the same thing. Excuse, right? How many times we have killed our grandmothers during school? Yeah. Right? My driver still continues to kill his grandmother. Even last week his grandmother died and I didn't go on to ask why. But when you can cook excuses, that really means that you're creative. And that reasoning is really going to help. So I don't know how much time I left. Would I have 10 minutes? Yeah, 10 minutes. Now we will get into the messaging part. Okay? That's very important in every speech. I'm just skipping. I'm going to teach you a simple method that you can use in your corporate life whenever you can. There is a method called Crazy 8, right? Apparently, our brains can think really creative only under pressure. Everybody thinks anything to do with creative tasks, you should give them enough time. So there are these directors or movies who wants to write a script, they will go to Kodaikanal, they will go to Italy, stay there for 1 month, and then they will stare at one beautiful mountain, and they say only then my creative juices will flow. And then they'll come and take a crap movie. Right? So creativity thrives under pressure, time pressure, right? So what you need to do is, if you have a piece of paper, fold it into 8 parts. Fold it into 8 parts. That necessarily means that you fold it 4 times. Then you get 8 boxes in it. Take a plain, one more paper. Do you have extra paper, man? Or you just got? Yeah, take the agenda. Yeah, you can reuse the agenda. Just all of you online, take a piece of paper, fold it into 8 parts. 8 parts. Right? Okay, so okay, great. So as you do that, I'm just going to ask one of you to give me a random word. Yeah. Oh, I just take it a star. Okay? Right. Now, yeah, it is car. Online, guys, what I've written is car. I don't think you can see it, car. Now, give me associated words. We will start with you, Priya. Any associated word. Okay, seat. Driver. No, this will go with this. Right? Driver. Battery. Petrol. Signal. I just put it as fuel. Signal. Signal. Okay, we will move away from the parts.
Speed breaker.
Yeah, somebody from online, what do you want to say?
Bala here. Speed breaker.
Speed breaker. Okay. Music. Speed breaker. Okay, 1 second. Music.
Long drive.
Race.
Sorry?
Long drive.
Long drive. Somewhere driver. Okay, long drive.
Accident.
Okay.
Accident.
Cleanliness.
Accident. Yeah.
For me, it's cleanliness.
Cleanliness. Oh, okay. So, yeah. Traffic police. Traffic. Okay. Insurance. It came from accident. RC book. RC book. Okay.
Race.
Sorry?
Race.
Race. Race. EMI. Very important. EMI. So Emmanuel said race. Aishwarya. Vidya, are you there?
Origin, I'm in a spectator mode. Yes, of course, I'm there.
Okay. So Vidya, any random word associated with car?
Father-in-law, maybe on lighter.
So
or music.
Yes. So dowry. Dowry. I'm sure he got it.
Yeah. That's even now he remembers it.
Even now he remembers. So Bala, dowry, huh? Okay.
No, not at all. Lighter way.
Vidya, any word associated with car?
Music. My time, music. My time, music.
My time. Yeah, I like that. My time. My time. Being personal time, right? That you get to experience. Where is Aarti? She gave big thoughts. I'm here for giant session. I'll get her finally. Comfort. Yes. Yes. Simpler. Comfort. Anything else?
Air conditioner.
Air conditioner. Okay. AC. So I'm just moving away from parts.
Car video game.
Car, video game, okay.
Passengers.
Manager.
Manager.
Direct.
Only he can afford it.
Fine.
Why is there no emotion attached?
Jayan?
What? Love. You said love. Okay.
Jayan, childhood?
Childhood, yeah.
Frustration.
Frustration, yes. Frustration.
Even on maintenance.
On maintenance, even on buying. Right choice of color. So, okay, great. This is what it is. Now, when you take a random word and think of associated words, there are so many words that will come to your mind, right? Now, what I want you to do is in that piece of paper, you're going to give me 8 messaging ideas for your speech. It can be any speech, okay? 8, what are those 8 messages that you will give? And you will drive inspiration from this board. Imagine you're giving a speech. Hang on, don't start. I'm going to give a timer. Even people in online, just don't start up like an examination student, right? You are writing some speech. End of it, you want to throw a message, right? So what will that message be? You can take any word from this board, and it has to be from this board alone. I don't know how people online will even read what is written, but you kind of have a fair idea what we spoke, right? Car, music, love, frustration, signal, traffic, fuel, EMI, all of those things, right? I'm going to give you 8 minutes time. It's the last 8 minutes that I have. So it essentially means that in each box, you will spend only 1 minute. You calculate, and if you're not getting the message, jump to the next box. Jump to the next box. Jump to the next box. End of 8 minutes, I want 8 messaging ideas. You all understand what messaging is, right? End of the speech, guys, this is what you should be doing in life. This is what I meant by my speech. Ideas.
We assume 8 different speeches, right?
Yeah.
8 different speeches and 8 different messages.
No, it's just one speech that you're giving 8 different messages. Give me a second. Now, அவங்கள கூப்பிடுறீங்களா மேடமா? நான் இல்ல வீட்ல.
For Jayan, it should be like in each box I should put one message or the speech and then.
No, one message. The speech can be. It should be one single speech. 8 different messages that you can give, connected to these words that are there, right? For example, if you're choosing the word EMI, what could that message be, right? Try and use that as a metaphor. Yeah. So I'm going to start my timing now. You have 8 minutes for 8 messaging ideas. if you have extra time, keep revisiting those messages, fine tune it, keep fine tuning. And remember the first exercise we did. Can I move away? Can I give something new? You have 4 minutes left, so half the time is over. Ashok, you're done?
Yes, Chaim. I'm done.
So if you're done, just revisit. There is scope. You can overwrite an earlier message because over time you might think of something better. And not necessarily that you should have only 8. You can go beyond 8. Right. So, yeah, so I think as part of this workshop, I just wanted to introduce this method to you. You can use it anywhere. Imagine somebody from your club is qualified to the district. And as a club, all of you want to help that person fine tune that speech better. This is one such exercise you can do in your club, where bring that person, find out what the message is, and then everybody sits and writes the 8 messaging ideas. You never know, that person can get a a phenomenal message at the end of it. So this exercise is basically called Together Alone. We are all together, but thinking alone, right? And that's a very powerful thing because the energy around you is the same. Everybody is thinking, so you are in that zone, and that is why this is called Together Alone. It's a very powerful team exercise where everybody is putting their individual. If we had done this exercise by discussing, it wouldn't have been this powerful. Now, what we currently have is 10 people on the chat, 10 people here, 20, 160 messaging ideas right now we have. 160. Even if you have discussed together, you wouldn't have got 160 messaging ideas. Probably 50% is useless.
Or redundant.
Sorry?
Or redundant.
Redundant. Repetitive. Yes, repetitive, redundant. And you take away all that, at least 25% powerful ideas is what you will get to discuss. So use the first 8 minutes to do Together Alone. After that, take away the redundant ones, take away the useless ones, and then discuss the final 25% or whatever it is, and fine tune what that message could be. So any of you want to share from the room first, any of you want to share one of the best idea that you messaging idea you've written out of the 8, you want to read out?
Follow traffic rules always.
Sorry?
Follow traffic rules always. Remember, your family is waiting for you.
Okay. Good.
A call from your manager and a call from nature. You know what to choose. Be wise.
Okay.
Your father-in-law might have gifted you the most expensive BMW, but the most precious gift from him to you is his daughter.
Wow, amazing. Bala, did you hear that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, by the way, yours, what does God do with this?
We're talking about
Manager.
Manager.
Okay, so manager is the key word. I was just wondering, nothing around car here. Finally, we have a manager. But did you say that word manager earlier? Huh?
It was Ganesh.
It was Ganesh. Okay, I thought you planted that word. Manager, so you to learn. So, fine.
Scapegoat. Manager is a scapegoat.
Manager is a scapegoat anyway. Okay, anybody else in the room?
Identify the accidental talents that you have.
Identify the accidental talent you may have. Fantastic. Okay, great.
Every problem in our life is a speed breaker to our happiness, but that's where we reflect upon and cherish the good times.
Okay, fine. I'm going to repeat for the sake of people who are online because you're hearing some phenomenal ideas here. Can you be louder so that we can just shout?
Every problem in our life is a speed breaker to the happiness, but that's where we reflect upon and cherish the good times.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah.
Sometimes all you need in your life is a long drive.
Sometimes all you need in your life is a long drive. Okay, I'm just going to quickly move over to Ashok. Ashok.
Traffic is not chaos. There is a method in that madness. Life is a long drive. Take it like EMI, little bit at a time. Fueled by life's purpose. Gratitude for insurance covers against accidents. Play that music of love while you drive. You will go a long way, like that smooth sail, recharging your batteries.
Oh, okay. So he read out just all his age. Okay, super, Ashok. Okay, anybody else? Guess Bala. 1, the best out of the 8.
Childhood are the seat of our comfort, driven by our parents, who are fueled with lots of love.
Oh, okay, fantastic. There's a lot of emotion there. Anybody else online?
Sometimes
Life is too short. Sorry, go.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Life is too short to drive a car.
Life is too short to drive a car. Okay, great.
Sometimes you need speed breakers in life to slow down and enjoy the journey.
Sometimes very similar to what he said. Sometimes you
The best way to get dowry is by not asking it.
Okay.
So no, that is a Bhutatan's message to his father-in-law.
Yeah, that's his message. Yeah, message to the world.
Yeah, message to the world. Okay.
Excuses can take you places without penalty.
Okay, excuses can take you places. Great, fantastic. Anybody else?
Yeah, life is a drive with the car, just challenges, accidents, and recovery. Add a E, carrot, and enjoy it.
Oh, okay, fine. Wow, crazy. Right. Vidya or Aishwarya? Yeah, Bala.
Next to my time, the most pampering minutes are, of course, with our trusted ones.
Okay, so Vidya, you don't have to use the word you suggested, okay? You could use other.
Feeling of grief or distress after a tiring day vanish as we get onto the car to switch on the AC and move on.
Okay, great, fine. So that is interesting. Anybody else online?
Yeah, I'll take this. Life would be throwing frustrations, happiness, joy, childhood memories, everything. Remember car. C for change the changeable, A for accept the unchangeable, and R is reject yourself from unacceptable.
Brilliant. Okay, great. So imagine, was there any complexity in this exercise? I think it's the most simple, stupid thing that we all did in the last 80 minutes. But imagine the way our brain thinks and look at the way we all think differently. All that you need is some random keyword for you to trigger that thought. And the message is out. Now, if I allow you 2 days, you will write the speech backwards. I'm sure all of you will say the other day, I started my car, I sat down, switched on my AC, I thought about my manager, or I thought about my father-in-law, right? Oh my God, I thought about my EMI, where am I going to pay the next EMI? But I yet decided that I will just start on a long drive. And I was reflecting on my life. And suddenly my childhood memories came right in front of me. My father couldn't afford a car. And that time I was only riding a bicycle. So the story goes on and on. And finally people, speed breakers, are the ones who will drive our life. So there is no limit to our imagination. And writing a script is just imagination. And then pulling some incidents off your memory and then putting it together in a sequential way. That is why you need to start in the most chaotic way possible. Everything will fall in place at the end of it. If you start validating, if you start questioning right from the beginning, you will not reach where you have to reach. So just pour all of these, but bring in some methods. Next time you want to write, you can always start from the message and then go back to the story, go back to the beginning, go back to the title finally. Right? So the last 1 minute, Putatan, if I can take 1 minute, if you don't mind, right? 1 minute. What is the title of your speech? You have to write. What is that one title that you want to give to the speech? Now that we have given messages related to car and my time and speed breaker and all that, what would that one title of your speech be?
Coming back to my own message, the title will be the most precious car.
The most precious car. Okay, great. Again, I'm just quickly doing it for 1 minute. We can go through the whole exercise for titles as well. What if I insert this word? What if I move away from driving? What if I move away from long distance? What if I move away from this one? So how can the title connect
Life.
the whole story?
Make it a beautiful music. Make it a beautiful music.
Life, make it a beautiful music. Okay, great.
Long EMIs, stronger memories.
Long EMI, stronger memories. Okay, interesting. Anybody online?
Change the spectacles.
Change the spectacles. Fantastic. Way you look at life. What that probably she meant. Yeah.
Life is a long drive with multiple speed breakers.
Life is a long drive with multiple speed breakers. Yes.
A soulmate doesn't always have to be human.
A soulmate doesn't always need to be a human. Fantastic. Very profound.
Word of the day.
Word of the day. Oh yeah, finally. Oh, yeah. Oh, I used the word of the day. Okay. Ashok is happy. Yes. So Aishwarya, what is the title of your speech?
The profoundness of a car.
We're not able to. What did you say?
profoundness of a car.
Profoundness of a car. Okay, fantastic. Another person uses the word of the day. Like Ashok, you have some work to do now. All right, yes, Bala.
Drive car, drive life.
Drive car, think father-in-law, drive life. Okay, great.
Life, wife, probably.
Life.
Life.
Life and wife.
Life without a wife.
Life without a wife. But with a father-in-law.
Yes.
Okay.
Miles to go with smiles.
Miles to go with smiles.
That's
Wow.
true.
Amazing. Okay. So this is what it is. I'm going to just close it here. I want you to all reflect what you did in the last so many minutes. Actually, nothing pathbreaking, nothing scientific. It's all simple human behavior that we got into. Just that we started with chaos. So never think from the start that it has to be methodical. It can start with chaos, but use a certain method in between. There are so many methods online, like this crazy eight that I just introduced you. Under time pressure. So next time, try this even in your club. Or when you want to write a speech, make use of resources that are available. They are called humans. They're around you at home. Make it a family affair. Bring all of them together, give them an A4 size sheet, break it into 8 parts, and tell them you guys are going to help me do a speech. Or we all are going to together think of a solution for a problem. It can be as simple as which car to buy. Make it as an activity, fun activity. We all discuss, no, can I get the car, on the car, in the color, no, put it on paper so that you are not influencing the others' thinking. And finally, when you collect together and repetitions and all that, so you will get some real rich content there. And everybody will feel nice about being included when they're writing, because when you're speaking, you tend to ignore certain people. That is the biggest problem with all corporate team meetings. Some people will sit quiet because let me not talk. Anyway, the manager will say, yeah, you go keep quiet. Yeah, stupid idea. No idea is stupid. No idea is stupid. To begin with, no idea is stupid. Every idea is powerful. Just that they are getting validated based on certain principles and they are negated. That's all. So this is what it is all about. Next time, when you want to write a script, try and use these simple methods. I'm sure you will reach somewhere. Right? Thank you for your time, and you've been a great audience.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Jan, for giving the triple I elements included workshop. Interesting, informative, and inspiring. So my takeaways from this session is to move away from ordinary. Never ever validate your idea. Club the reasoning part and the crazy eight together along. So thank you so much once again, Jan. Let's have a huge round of applause. Let's deal with the usual segments of Toastmaster meeting. So now we are going to have our prepared speaker onto the stage. So before inviting him, can we have our distinguished Toastmaster Vidya, who is going to evaluate the prepared speaker's speech to read out his objectives. Vidya, over to you.
Toastmaster, thank you, Toastmaster. Just give me a minute. Today, the prepared speaker is delivering dynamic leadership in level 1, project 2, evaluation and feedback. The title is Humanity Still Exists. And the objective of the project is to learn or review basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on a topic. Timer, please note the given time limit is 5 to 7 minutes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Vidya. Let's invite the prepared speaker now. He is a senior project manager at Cognizant Technology Solutions, and he is attempting his speech from the part Dynamic Leadership, Level 1, Evaluation and Feedback. So his title is Humanity Still Exists. Humanity Still Exists, Toastmaster Chellakane. Over to you.
Thank you. Good morning, Miracles and distinguished guests. It was 4th May 2022, Wednesday, fine weather, morning 11:30 a.m. Tirunelveli bus stand, we proudly call Nellai bus stand. There is a bus which is about to start by 12 o'clock from Tirunelveli to place called Sathangulam. The driver name is Murugesh. He used to have a big mustache, so his fellow mates used to call him as Misai Murugesh. And he has a co-conductor, Mr. Sodalayandi. They both were ready to operate their bus at 12. It was 11:35. Before that, Mr. Murugesh and Sodalayandi were taking their breakfast, having their tea, and Mr. Sodalayandi kept calling, Sathangulam, Sathangulam, Sathangulam. So people used to come and on board the bus, somebody used to take the tickets, somebody not taking the tickets. They used to keep rushing towards the bus for 12 o'clock. This bus starts from Tirunelveli at 12 and reaching Sathangulam by 1:30. It was about 50-kilometer journey from Tirunelveli to reach Sathangulam. Usually, it may not take, if you go by a private car, 45 minutes. But you all know the condition of a TNSTC bus, right? So once you apply the brake, then only driver will know whether the brake is good or not. So that is the condition of our TNSTC buses. Mr. Misai Murugesan has a 25 years of industry experience. He was so proud of his work. He was enjoying driving. So many trips he have made between Tirunelveli and Sathangulam. On the day, 4th May, it was a nice breezing day. The bus was about to full. There were 35 passengers. Around 11:55, Misai Murugesan boarded the bus and slowly started giving the accelerator. The conductor, Sodalayamani, came onto the bus and started issuing the tickets one by one. The bus slowly moved out of Tirunelveli bus stand. There were about 7 to 8 stops before it reached Sathangulam. The first stop, it's Rettiyarpatti. It was close to an engineering college. So there were 2 passengers. They were bunked their college and they boarded the bus. I no need to say there is a girl and boy. They boarded the bus. So 35 plus 2, 37 passengers now. And then the bus kept moving another 5 kilometers away to the next stop. There was a oldest couple. They were about 80 years old. So they were so cute, I would say. So this couple also boarded the bus. Now it has become 39 passengers. The bus slowly keep going. Another 5 kilometers down the line. So the next stops come. One single passenger who was an adult. He always looking into here and there what is happening. So he boarded the bus. Now totally 40 passengers were there on the bus. Mr. Misai Murugesan, he is always very, very thoroughly enjoying his driving. So he kept slowly moving towards, because the journey 50 kilometers, he has 1.5 hours given by the Tamil Nadu government to reach the destination. Everything was peaceful, quite calm. The passengers were chatting with each other and they were exchanging the snacks. So calm, cool, everything going fine. It was around 12:30. The bus reaches near Panaikulam. That time, driver Misai Murugesan slightly felt pain on his left chest. He started sweating slightly. He never felt that kind of feeling at any moment earlier. But still, he is convenient, he is quite common. He kept driving the bus. For next few more minutes, he suddenly felt everything is going out of his mind. The bus carrying 40 passengers were felt shaking. The bus kept going zigzag here and there, here and there, here and there. But Misi Murugesan, with his 25 years of experience, managed to balance the bus to stop it in a corner of a road. Now the fellow passengers were felt safe. Yes, it was a massive heart arrest for Misi Murugesan. So the Sodalayamani conductor rushed to the driver. Should we take him to hospital? What should we do? But the man with the big mustache was telling to Sodalayamani, saying, no, I will take the passenger to Satangudam and then only I will take I will go to hospital. So the conductor was surprised, but he still felt, okay, happy for him. But this driver not even able to make a single accelerate now. It was a massive heart arrest. That moment, he immediately collapsed and died on that moment around 12:35. He collapsed and died. The fellow passengers, there was chavos. People were trying to understand what is happening in the front of the bus. They were rushing and seeing the driver is almost collapsed and he died. But there was a smile in the driver's face. He saved the life of 40 people with his tremendous driving experience of 25 years. Everyone was happy, or this is the moment they have to be sad for the sudden collapse, sudden death of a driver who was very active until 2 minutes before. But the humanity, Mr. Misi Murugesan, on that day he is always used to wear the blue shirts, 25 years of experience, along with the humanity, saved 40 plus lives. I was so exclaimed to read this message. Profound driver, I would proudly call him. He's a profound driver. Yeah, what a humanity he is. Yes, my dear gentlemen, humanity still exists, like Misi Murugesan, like people like Misi Murugesan. Yes, humanity still lives. Over to Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you for that wonderful speech. Can we have grammarian's report now?
Sure. Thanks, Priya. So today there's a lot of learnings I had. I'm just going to pick only very few of them in the interest of time. Good usages, arena to improve, huge river to cross, flabbergasted, frustrated, frills later, cook anything you want. And then there were numerous good usages in DTM Giant session. I'm running out of time to call out all of them, especially don't validate your idea. And word of the day, profound, was used by management book reviewer Mukhi. Jain used it, guest Aishwarya used it, and recently CK used it. And it's a great word, and I urge everyone to use this word at least once in the upcoming week, either at your work setup or at any personal conversation. Profound, a great word. Not so good usages. There were some tense confusions when an incident from the past was narrated. There were a lot of tense confusions. I'll just call out few of them. One is bus reached near Panakalam, because it's an incident that we are calling out from the past. And one usage, going out of one's mind, is actually used in a wrong context. It should have been replaced. It could have been replaced with blackout. That's the word that the speaker was intending to use, not going out of one's mind. Chaos, that's how the word is spelled. And slowly keep moving should have been slowly kept moving. Other than that, it was a fantastic meeting. I learned a lot today, and I'm looking forward to more such meetings. Over to you, Toastmaster Priya.
Thank you so much, Ashok. interest of time, we are skipping the TT segment today. And so let's hear from our timer of the day, timer Putatan.
Thank you, Priya. So in the management book review session, Toastmaster Muki took 9 minutes 12 seconds, and in the creative chaos way, it's a writing session, Jayan took 55 minutes, and in the prepared speech session, Toastmaster Chalakanan took 7 minutes and 28 seconds. Thank you, Priya. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Putatan. It's our time to listen to that profound evaluation. So let's put our hands together to welcome distinguished Toastmaster Vidya.
Thank you, Toastmaster Priya, for introducing me. Coming to the evaluation of today's speaker. Today, the prepared speaker was so authentic on the stage that we were able to recollect so many cities that we had forgotten during our busy schedules. If you see the vocabulary that he used, Misai Murugesan, Sudalai Mani. I'm not sure if the characters are real, but really they took the attention of the listeners and it was captivating. It was nicely played, sir. That trick was really working if it were not real names, but if it was real, then it's a coincidence. So with respect to your investment as a speaker on the stage, you really were invested throughout the speech and you were trying to captivate the members through your energy, especially at places where you are trying to enact few things. Like, for example, in a scene where you forcefully tried to create a panicness when the driver was suffering out of massive attack. So that part of emotion really worked for your script. So now if you ask me what is that you can do something better in the script so that it becomes a really fantastic speech which touches most of, most part of our emotion is, I would say, while you're trying to enact things, don't try to forcefully fit things. Like, try to give it as a casual speaker on the stage. See it from the position of an audience who's standing in that scene. Think yourself as a person who's seated in the bus and try to articulate this. Maybe in that kind of imagination, you will be able to bring out the required emotions with the right amount of enacting. So that is one small tip that I would like to give to you. And number two is, in many places you use a lot of facts. For example, you said there were 8 stations. And when you started, you see the first station was Rekayapeti. And you finally, I was waiting for the second or third station. I was thinking that you're trying to jot down the stations in each and every station and try to bring out an incident. It was not that way. You started with the Rekayapeti station and you concluded with Panekulam station. So now this kind of unwanted expectations are created when we're trying to create points which are not really essential for the speech. So try to limit the number of points, because being a technical person, we have the habit of giving too many information on the stage. So that's something which I would like to take. I would request you to take care of. So with these 2 recommendations, what I would like to say is, it was a fantastic speech. You were invested as a speaker today and the energy level was awesome. Try and avoid some force fittings inside the speeches so that it becomes like a natural speaker who's just observing the speech and going through that deep feeling of humanity. It's a very big topic. We're speaking about humanity here and it has to come with that real genuine feeling. With that note, I would like to thank you for giving this fantastic experience and sharing about it to us. And I would like to hand over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Vidya, for that evaluation. And it's my time to conclude the theme of the day. So we were talking about the characteristics of creative person. The last point I would like to pitch in front of you is that creative person is the one who enjoys talking to people from all walks of life. So the exercise what is mentioned by Vidya and Jen is that to talk to everyone in the family, to get the ideas done, right? So this is well connected with that point. So thank you so much for that wonderful session once again, Jen. And so here I conclude that we all are creative. Only thing is that we need to realize it. That's it. So having said that, over to you, Presiding Officer, Toastmaster Ashok.
Thank you so much, Priya. Fantastic session today. I thoroughly enjoyed it. We started on time. A lot of guests today. And every Meraki meeting, there is so much to learn that I need at least 2 weeks to kind of assimilate them and start using them in my in my work or in my life. So there is so much that we have learned today, especially the management book review. I have never seen a Harvard curation getting reviewed in Meraki. So the standards of Meraki is going up, and thank you for that, Muki. And fantastic session today, workshop today, Jan. I thoroughly enjoyed it. In fact, I have had within this 30 minutes, I have now collected numerous ideas for speeches for the upcoming sessions. Thank you so much, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I used to think that I'm not that creative a person. I used to get creative only once a week, that too on Fridays, when I write the status reports of the projects. But now I know I can get creative anytime, that too under time pressure. Thank you so much, Jen. That was a lovely session. With that, probably we can go around the room, take a quick feedback as to what you liked about today's session, what can be done better. It would be of great help. Probably we can go quickly around the room. I couldn't see everyone in the frame, so we can start from the left corner of the room.
Yes. Hi, this is Shankar Narayanan. I'm coming here for the first time. Priya referred and I came into the discussion. So enjoyed it thoroughly. I came out for the session without any expectation. So it was it was a profound learning for me for the day.
Thank you, Shankar.
Hey, hello, it's Sana Bonesh. First, I would like to thank Meraki for this wonderful opportunity. Nowadays, we're not having much in-person meetings. We tried in Nahabad, Nakadla Pastor to have a hybrid setup. It was okay, but I feel that, personally, I feel that in-person meetings have a lot more impact. So thank you so much, and it was a wonderful session. We thoroughly enjoyed. Thank you.
Thanks, Bonesh. Dinesh?
For me, I should say that probably I haven't met a lot of them. So I never planned to meet a couple of my team members who are supporting currently on my road. So I got to meet them here. Maybe it's a coincidence or an accident, but it has been a profound session throughout. I really enjoyed all the segments that we have.
So I would like to conclude saying that it's an expect the unexpected. As I initially said, always Jen session is somewhere around takeaway messages. And today I thought that even on Saturdays, being a weekend, I use my brain for at least half an hour of a time, and so a lot of ideas came up, and it was amazing session. Jen, kudos to that, and thanks to Meraki for this wonderful session, and thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you, Anil.
It's okay. Great. Doesn't matter. So, all right.
So first of all, I'd like to thank Jen for the profound session, and today I feel very happy. And I'm going out with a lot of creative ideas. I'm sure that I'll go back to my office and implement all, and will get promoted next level. Easily got a promotion. I'll give credit to Jen. And Meraki, it's always, as I told you, this advanced club. So always, it's an inspiring club for many of the club, I would say, for my club, home club as well. And today I had a lot of learnings, and thank you, Priya, for inviting and opening up a lot of message. And finally, I made it. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Meraki, for this wonderful session. I came to this meeting in addition to seeing the education sessions like this. The title actually attracted me. It had a spelling mistake on creative. But this meeting was very creative, and the Meraki team disappointed me. I had a lot of learning. Thank you. Thank you.
Please.
Hi, I'm a COVID batch for Toastmasters and less than 8 months. And believe me, all my meetings were online, and I used to do well. But when the office got opened and when I was physically present, it was totally different arena. So I just wanted to see, I come from very long, I come from Nelichakalpottu, but I wanted to see how an meeting goes physically. So I drove all the way from there, and I will say it's every minute is worth actually. It blew me through the roof. And I learned a lot from them first meeting him first time, and when I was going through the agenda, I was seeing all the I just PS was there, and none of the faces I know actually, but it was worth coming all through the way, and I go back again. I don't mind over that, but I'm just waiting for the next session when it's going to happen, and I love the badges you guys are having. And thinking about the first time, I want one. And,
Get yourself.
it's the right time to look for it. So I was calling yesterday, Bhupendra sir. I think I was asking about the dress code because I've never been to a Toastmasters club. So I wanted to know how to. He said it's like you are meeting after a long time, so come in your way. So I thought I can ask him next time if I have some polo t-shirts. Yeah. Thank you very much, Varun, for having me.
So that was a small meeting, small announcement. In fact, I have not discussed it with any of our club members. Next 11/5, we are going to have a much similar kind of session. A beautiful, wonderful, absolutely learning session. We'll make it as a surprise for all of you. We'll announce it. We'll make a wonderful campaign, and 100% sure that session also will be beautiful, wonderful, and with lot of takeaways. Wait for the announcements from us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else in the room want to share a few words? Almost on the top of the hour.
Aishwarya?
Yeah, sir. Yeah.
So probably I think we may exceed time, so I'll take 2 minutes, make it over when I'm not over. So actually, I'm part of another organization called Professional Speakers Association, wherein many of us wanted to write a book, and throughout the world there is a movement called NaMoWriMo, the November month for writing a novel. So 50,000 words in a month. So on everyday basis, you have to write 1,600 words. So what we have done, some of our members are like-minded people, around 10 people. We started having a Zoom session in the morning around 5 o'clock in the morning. And all you have to do is to sit in front of your laptop, switch on your video, and you have to write. That's all. So you don't have to interact with anyone. But that peer pressure, peer watching helped a lot. And some of us, they were able to complete their book within 1 month. So I have not successfully completed some very 80% or 70% I completed. So today I was able to recollect when you started having that, alone and then together alone, right? So I think it's a fantastic idea. So that is why we were able to see the power of synergy. So fantastic. And I thoroughly enjoyed every bit of a workshop from Jain. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Guest Bala, you want to share a few words?
Thank you, Ashok. This is my first ever meeting for Meraki, the Advanced Toastmaster Club. I thought whenever I get a chance, I'm privileged that I attend that. And when I tried to do Google, I found that Meraki means to do something with passion. And I saw the passion completely in this meeting. I don't know whether I should call Jayan's a workshop of ideas or playground of ideas. I would prefer to call it as a playground of ideas. And for the people who were online, we were asked to pay a certain amount. So it was a truly Paisa Vasool movement, I would say. And I won't call this as a hybrid meeting. Instead, I'll call it as a high bridge meeting, which is aiming to bridge the connect between the online and offline. Overall, a wonderful meeting. Thanks a lot for, I'm really privileged to get it on a Saturday morning. And I hope that I make it to more meetings in future. Thank you.
Thank you, Bala. There's a poet in you. Aishwarya, you want to share a few words?
Sure, there's Aishwarya there.
Sorry, sir. Aishwarya is there. Yeah, I'm just trying to ask her. Yeah, Aishwarya, if you want to share a few.
So the meeting went very well, and I liked the part. I mean, Jen had given so many ideas. I wrote for one full page. I didn't think I could. I actually am a night person, so I didn't think I could be creative in the morning. So it was good.
Perfect. Thank you, Aishwarya. Anyone else want to share a few words or? All right, perfect. Thank you so much. It was a fantastic meeting today. Meraki meeting number 135. Adjourn the meeting, and next meeting is on 28th of May, 7 a.m. That is Meraki meeting number 136. Thank you so much for joining us, and I thoroughly enjoyed the session. Looking forward to meet you in yet another great Meraki meeting. Thank you. Should we have a quick picture? Yeah.
Join here so that they are visible in the camera and yeah, one from there. This side, yeah. Come, Abdul. Come here, all of the shop. Yeah. Video, yeah. Yeah, come. It's visible. Everything is visible. Yeah. One more.
Yeah, you can sit there. Yeah.
Yes, that's all correct.
Sit on ideas, not on the sticks.
Now everybody's.
Perfect.
TV ad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much. You all have a great weekend ahead.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I have a great weekend. Thank you.
Thank you all.
She